Good morning. It is 9:47 a.m. This is the first official taping of the Mill Z podcast. I'm here with my boy Alex Galarza. Today we're going to talk about the early 2010s versus the late 2010s and how they're different. Alex, my man, how would you say the early 2010s and the late 2010s are different?
Technology is definitely a big part of it. I genuinely feel. I think a lot of 14-year-old, like when I was 12, like 11 to 14, 15-ish, like I just got my first phone. But now, like, a lot of the kids now are just so infatuated with technology by the time they're like 5. And it's like, but they're good with it, you know what I mean? So, like, you know, this is kind of a good thing. But I think, like, at the same point, like, they're just all talking every day rather than just seeing themselves at school, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think it's a big change, but I think it's kind of good.
Yeah, I noticed that too, because like I remember when I forgot I got my first phone when I was like 9, but it was like a cell phone, like a flip phone, and you know, there was like smartphones everywhere, but I had to like ask my dad to play it because like for some reason there was like a big shift in like the mid 2010s where parents just didn't care if they let their, you know, 7th grader have an iPhone, even though they kind of know how scary that technology can be. I feel like up kids.
Yeah. I feel like with iPhone is a very simple phone. So I think it just, and if a lot of people have Apple products, I think it would just make it easier. But then they bought into all the Apple shit. So, I mean, or all the Apple stuff, because it's just, at the end of the day, it's like, you know, technology is a very double-edged sword. 'Cause it's like, they're very, like, more socially awkward than I think the 2010s. But then at the same point, they're like, I don't know. It's an interesting time. It just really is, I feel. So.
Yeah, I've noticed that kids are more socially awkward because I remember back in like the 6th grade, I was hanging out with my sister's friends because my sister's like 2 years older than me, and everyone got along like fine.
Right.
But like my grade, we just didn't get along with each other unless we were in like the same you know, clique.
Yeah, and I think that's where like being secluded in technology creates more cliques that are where like separation rather than just getting to know people just based on how the person is rather than just hearing what they do online and doing all this other crap. So
yeah, because like people are gonna look for the people who are like them because they're not being forced to interact with people who are not like them.
mm-hmm.
Something I noticed about cultural divide between early 2010 social media and late 2010 social media is that challenges on the internet nowadays are far more or at least far less benign. Like, remember the ice bucket challenge?
Yeah, stuff like that was nice. So like I got challenged by like 3 different people to do it, and I just never did it because I was in high school. I'm like, yeah, I'm not like. It seemed like it was a good thing. I understood it was a good thing, but I was just like, okay, like 15, 16 at the time. Well, it was like 2015, so I was probably more like 17. So I could have done a video because I'm closer, but I was just more of like, I'm not posting like because you know at the end of the day, like between 14, like if you're a high schooler and you know, like you're watching all your favorite celebrities do it, you're not gonna like you want to do it, but at the end of the day, like you know, it's like I can't donate. So at the end of the, you know, so yeah, it's a great meaning, but like the normal, you know what I mean? But I think like when you're young, you're like kind of naive to it, to where it's like you're just doing it because, you know,
Everyone else is doing it.
not even like everyone else is doing it, but it was just more like, oh, 50 Cent told Eminem to do it. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like that, like not rather than like your own grandfather or your uncle sending it to you. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and nowadays, like my generation,
things are fickle now. Like I feel like that's the thing. Like everything like back then, it was kind of like, you know, I think everybody's, you know, like Rock, I think The Rock started his Twitter in like '09. Like he was on top of it, like as soon as it opened, and he still has the same picture on his Instagram.
oh really?
Yeah, from like, yeah. So like that's where like some people just get ahead of the trend and use that type of cat. And if you know with John Cena, how he is on Twitter and how he is on Instagram is completely different. He's way more interactive on Twitter, and then or X, however you call it now. But like I was on Twitter for a little bit, then it was just Like that was back in high school though. So
I had a Twitter account when I was in like the fifth grade. I know
fifth grade.
I know you think it's weird when I talk about the fifth grade, but I didn't have like a because Annie had one, so I wanted to have one. Annie's my sister, and but I was only doing it on the computer, and I'm looking back on it. It is the cringiest
Yeah,
stuff. Like it's so weird.
is basically so like talking to the XX rated stars. So that's how you just like actually were like, oh, I'm a huge fan. And she's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 50. You're like, you're like, yeah, everybody lies on the internet. Come on.
Everyone like Stanson don't is 37, dude. Yeah, one time I commented on Bryce's YouTube page. And I don't know if she like looked at my YouTube channel and saw that I was like 15.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then but then you have all these going back to with the YouTube stuff and just there's a lot of people like they're kids now going back to early 10s. That's when it wasn't really everybody's watching something for like saying like actually doing something. But now like just watching people play like Twitch. And Twitch got huge because people realized how bad they were at video games and how many good people are actually good at video games.
Yeah.
So the people at video games watch the good people at video games. But then like it's insane, like Twitch and like even the kids that like just watch other kids play video, like it's wild. Because if you really think about it, like you could be doing it, but you just rather like watch someone else play it because they're that good at the game. And it's just like you're vicariously living through like Ninja or whoever, all these other Twitchers, and PewDiePie, you know what I mean? Yeah.
When I was a kid, my parents were like very strict about video games, so I would watch like PewDiePie, Markiplier, Toby Games, to live vicariously through that.
I was more into Chris Move because I was a big I'm a big NBA guy. NBA, WWE, like all those. I played a lot of Madden, but the last Madden I had was like 2015, 2016, because I think those types of games, like anything that's a franchise, they don't really change.
Yeah.
So they just want to like just market. Like I feel like the last real. I just been out of the video game world for a long time though. It's probably been like a good 7-8 years now. But just like I play with Alex here and there, like 2K, but that's it. Like, and it's not because I don't like video games. It's just I gave my system to my brother, and then we were just like, eh.
I kind of grew out of video games.
Yeah, and I think genuinely, I think that's where like I think a lot of people are addicted, but like it's a stress factor thing now. I feel like I don't genuinely, but then so many people now that are like you can have a friend that's like top 100 in the world in something in a video game, and it's like does it mean anything? And I'm like, they're like, okay, like yeah, that's valuable to you, but then it's like shit, like I don't want to sound like an asshole if I tell them that, so
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I'd go like months without playing video games. I was gonna play some GTA later today.
GTA 5,
Yeah, GTA 5.
yeah, because 6 hasn't came out yet.
Yeah, and like I still have a PS4. I do not want a PS5. Maybe I'll get a PS5 when GTA 6 comes out. I think that honestly, man, like PS4, the PS4 is fine, man.
PS4 is fine, but I never understood why you couldn't play like all the other PlayStation games on all that other stuff, man. I wish, because I would love to play all the old SmackDown versus Raw games or like older 2Ks.
Oh yeah,
because I don't know. I think PlayStation was good. I think the last great year was probably like 17, 18, like when I grew out of it, just because like they were starting to become like Xbox and like asking for everything.
Yeah.
And it's like I just remember like, yeah, because like I said, I'm gonna be 29 in October, so it's just more of I don't want to. It makes people stop like ignorant, but like you just remember when you could turn a video game on, like, and just not have to do shit. You don't have to give them your email. You don't have to do it. And
give us like a game pass, a big pass.
Like get in there, a game code. You didn't need all this stuff. It was just like, all right, I was I remember being when I was a little younger too, just Nintendos, man.
Yeah,
I would rather, if I was back in the video games, it'd probably be that. The graphics are amazing though. I'll give video games that.
Oh yeah, PlayStation graphics are like top tier. Like
yeah,
but yeah, I wanted to play Battlefield 1 like multiplayer,
Yes.
but
There's a lot of
it's like $100 just to play multiplayer. I was like, fuck that.
So you were always a PlayStation guy?
No, I had an Xbox 360 as a kid. I wanted to.
I liked Xbox was good for like certain games. I think if it's a sports game, it could be good on both.
Yeah.
But like first person shoot, like which one's Halo is exclusive to Xbox, right?
Yep.
And then which one's exclusive to, is it Call of Duty?
What PlayStation is? Oh, sorry. Call of Duty is exclusive to everything. It's on PC. I have not PC.
Oh, okay. Well, what's the shooter game that is strictly on PlayStation?
I don't know of any shooter games strictly on
But
PlayStation.
it's strictly Halo's strictly for.
Halo is strictly for Xbox and maybe.
That's one. Okay, because everybody talks about Halo. I'm like, dude, I never played it. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I was more of a Call of Duty guy. Call of Duty was fucking dope, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm playing Black Ops 2 right now, and this is like the futuristic stuff. It's just like, oh my god, that's awesome. And as for PlayStation exclusives are mostly like third person, like God of War,
Yeah,
Ghost of Tsushima. I am terrible at finishing video games. That's why I don't play it as much as I used to. Yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, because that's why with me, like, I never got into any of those types of games because I'm like, And then what else? So we talked about the social media, video games, it's just all rotating to just how like people's attentive spaces. That's all. So,
Oh yeah.
I think the attention span of people now is just so small that it's like, but the world just continuously moves. But I think that's where like you don't even remember what happened 2 weeks ago, let alone like a year ago, because it's like so many things just keep on happening.
Because you're exposed to so many things like have your attention. Like I remember like early 2010s, like we had cell phones, but they weren't like the norm. And like all I wanted to do was play like Angry Birds, Plants vs Zombies, Minecraft, all that. And nowadays there's like all these other games that you want to play. I'm being pulled into like all these other directions. I don't know if it's because I didn't really do much as a kid, but like sometimes there's just I want to play this game. No, now I want to play this game when games on average takes like 20 hours to complete. So I just don't think it's like worth my time to finish the games. Yeah, I also found this article like the top 10s. It's like top 10 reasons why the early 2010s were better than the late 2010s. I feel like this is going to be some like boomer shit because like there are things that people didn't know in the early 2010s that we know now, like the dangers of sending nudes to strangers. Like the Amanda Talks.
That's why Snapchat's still in business. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Good point. I mean, you know not to to not talk to random strangers, but you're still like seeing like porno stars, Snapchat just being promoted to kids. Like when I was a kid, you know how?
but it's the algorithm's fault, man.
Yeah, it's the algorithm's fault.
That's why I don't have TikTok, because I like one crazy post that it's all this. I like one relationship post. It's all lovey-dovey relationship stuff.
Oh my god, this is such boomer shit. One of the reasons why they say that the early 2010s was better is that there were no mumble rappers. It's like, shut up.
Really?
You guys had that that indie pop garbage that
What?
I think you guys said it that where they were dressing up as like hipsters.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my god. It was like
They had Migos. What? I'm trying to remember because I was in high school when Migos came out. I was like, I think my junior year of high school, so it was like at least 2014, I think. Yeah, they got big because they had Versace. Tú saying, homie, like I'm Illuminati, and Migos was, but I don't want to call them mumble because you understand them. Like now, like looking back at it, like I understand why people were calling it.
yeah.
But then Future got big. But like I feel like those guys could actually still rap. So like that's where where do we draw the line? What's a mumble rapper?
Yeah,
'Cause I understand, like
Ants could rap, Uzi Vert can rap.
right, but like it's just the flow, and I think that's where going.
Yeah, I know. And they also here's what they also said. No Cardi B.
Wow.
Really, guys?
What are you on right now?
What are you on? You guys said Nicki Minaj too, and she's worse than Cardi B. At least Cardi B is hot.
Nah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, stop. I don't think the Nicki Minaj slander, man. Nah, Nicki the GOAT. So
Yeah. But yeah, it says better cartoons. Okay, yeah, that I kind of agree with because
then nothing tops the '90s, but
oh yeah,
I
nothing.
think the 20, yeah, the cartoons now they're just lost in the sauce because I think they just pander now. I think that's the thing. Every cartoon needs a gay like rabbit or whatever, and now so it's no, like not everything needs. Then I think that's where like you see it now. Like you never had like when Courage, like if you really think about Courage the Cowardly Dog or anything off like Cartoon Network, like I think Courage the Cowardly Dog was basically like a way of showing like how crazy someone could be. Like it's probably like a schizophrenic or like some like mania that you have, and
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the 2000s Cartoon Network was like very creative.
no, because I think it showed different aspects of like social anxieties that it can be taken up in the world, but like especially Courage, holy crap, that shit was good.
Yeah, and I remember in like the late 2010s they had that live action era of Cartoon Network with Destroy, and like I mean I used to watch that because nothing else was on, but like I feel like Adventure Time and regular show saved Cartoon Network.
It did, yeah. No, that was good stuff. That was good. I was still like that was like I think middle school, like early high school. That was good stuff.
Yeah. And on this post, that's how I know this post is bullshit. They said fewer shootings.
Wait, like what do they mean fewer shootings?
I don't know. They're very brief. It's like a voting thing. It says this makes responsible gun owners everywhere sick. Trust me. The only really bad one I can think of is sick. What?
Are you on Reddit?
No, I'm on this like website called the top10s.com. Reds and another tab. Now shootings happen every few months. It's like
Well, shootings were all
they're always happening. They're just being reported more.
yeah, just like all the plane crashes.
Yeah, and plane crashes too. Yeah, they're trying to.
I think it's just more fear mongering now. But I think that's where it comes to not having the best pilots and you're hiring based on diversity.
Yeah,
Like I think like I'm not saying that you can't have diversity, but you should. Like you gotta be diverse, but I think we just have to get back to some level of I just want the best people. And if they so happen, if there's 10 pilots and 7 of them are white, like God forbid, but I think,
Do you think that the political climate kind of really made a divide between the early 2010s and the late 2010s?
yeah, because we weren't as divisive. I think because we had Barack, and Barack was cool, and he didn't really have to like say all the shit he was doing. He was just kind of hiding behind a box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just being like a cool guy, but he was like doing all this crazy shit.
Oh,
Behind closed doors, like everybody talks about Hillary and Benghazi, and everybody talks about like how Trump didn't handle COVID, but then it's like, oh, blah blah blah, and it's like, I don't know, like they're like no president's perfect, so like I think that's where like people just have to like it's all side based bullshit now, and I think that's where they do like no one was really everybody thought Bill Clinton was the coolest dude because he could play a saxophone, but then he locked up more blacks because of the crime bill and so
and he like bombed Yugoslavia too.
yeah, and then with Waco he fucked that up. So I think like if you look at and that's what caused Timothy McVeigh to do all the shit he did in '95. So it's like there's things that offset each other to why things always just always have to happen. So in this crazy world, I think that's where like going back 2010s weren't as like we were getting there. You could feel it, but it was just the quiet person in the corner that was just bullshitting.
Yeah.
Now they just have the whole microphone. And and I think that's where it makes a difference because, like we could go talk about the sanctuary stuff, but it's 1% of the population.
Yeah. Are you by 81%?
Less than 1% of the population, but then you're making it such a huge deal, especially the Dems always do. And then But then you have 13% of the population that want all the, like, they can't even get anything because, God forbid, you just tell them what they want to hear. And that's ridiculous. So, because I think people need to be taken, like, they ought to be taken care of, man. Because, like, we're all Americans at the end of the day. But I think that's where they're just shifting the focus to just not caring because, they're making their money and they don't really care about us, Speaking of, like, if a song from 95 made by Michael Jackson doesn't prove the point now, that's what I'm saying. Like, any political, geometric song that came out from the 70s to the 90s, you still listen to it, and it still rings true. It's because there was the whole plan all along. So,
yeah. Yeah, like, the rap, that I've showed you that rapper Moto Technique, right? Mm-hmm. Well, he was predicting all the stuff that's happening now in like 2003 with his album Revolutionary Volume 2. Because he's kind of like how Mo is, where he sees like all the bullshit.
Because you have to see bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where, like, if you start calling an apple an orange and you do it long enough, people are going to call an apple an orange, even though the fucking thing is an apple.
Yeah, I know.
You bullshit long enough, people are just going to be not brainwashed. I think that's the wrong word, but like it's just that people are going to just believe bullshit. So,
oh yeah, And this guy is like calling out like bullshit that people believe, and it's like, yeah, and looking back, I'm seeing it later. It's like jealous of our freedoms, brother. Like they were not jealous of our freedoms. They were mad at us because we were supporting the guys who were attacking them. Okay. I can go on and on about Bin Laden's plan for like motivations for 9/11, but like, dude, he studied at Oxford.
Yeah, he's smart.
He's like a billionaire. He was a smart guy, but like
evil.
He was an evil son of a bitch. But like, are you seriously gonna sit here and tell me that?
I think that's where we're in a generation right now to where we talk about an evil person, they just can't be talked about. Yeah, rather than learn the evil traits and what made someone so evil.
I know.
Rather than actually equate it to where, like, why, like, because, like, dude, you can't tell, like, for anybody to be able to do what any of those evil dudes do, it still it requires some level of psychological warfare on people and just knowing like simple sociological differences and all this other shit. So it's like, we're not saying when we talk about people like that, you never should you have to be blunt and you just got to be honest and say, I'm not very going to support anything they did. It's just more of the fact that let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
We can't have conversations anymore. And I think that's what's scary. We're in a time where we can't have conversations about, like, dude, like, look at all the, like, when McCarthyism and all that stuff was happening. Why do you think they were infiltrating? Because at the end of the day, socialism is disguised as communist. It's a communist thing disguised. That's why if Bernie just ran independent and said, whatever I want to do, I'm an independent. I've always been an independent. I don't need to run on either party. I think he would have gotten more votes because he would have been a third party candidate.
Oh, yeah.
But running on this democratic socialistic bullshit ruined it for him because I genuinely don't think he needed that.
Yeah, and they fucked him over.
And then the Dems fucked him over too. So it's like, because Democrats are just, they're on the same, okay, they're a different wing, but on the same bird.
So it's just the same coin.
They're the same shit. You all just want to make money. So,
oh yeah,
but let's end on a higher note. What's 2010s, early 2010s, and now it's like 2010s. To be honest, 2010s just went by so quick.
Oh yeah,
like it didn't feel like a decade. So I think with me, that's where I remember a lot more the 2000s than the 2010s because 2010s just went like that. So that's where like it was a good generation, but it to me everything blurred. Like I think 2000s and like when you hear from like life back from like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, even the 2000s, like wasn't such a blur. like I know life could just go fast. I understand that, but I think like the way we're living life makes it go by so much faster. Yeah, we're not appreciating the little day by day anymore. We're just like
What about stopping to smell the roses?
right, and I think that sometimes you have to because at the end of the day, like you got to really appreciate just having life, and I think that's a whole nother aspect that people, don't want to like really hop on. But we're gonna take a break. Gonna shoot into sign out, guys. So.
Yes, sir. And now is a good halfway point because we got nothing left to say for this topic. Man, I didn't give you enough notice before we recorded. My bad. All right, but yeah. So a lot of people don't believe that the government was in on it, but you got to admit it is possible that they were in on it. It is not out of the realm of possibility. You know why? Because they've planned stuff like this before, like during the Cold War. Operation Northwoods was a declassified like CIA file where they were actually gonna attack the United States and frame Cuba for it.
So they kind of like bait pig shit.
Yeah, bad pig shit. So that as an excuse to go to war with Cuba, and that has been done before. The Nazis did it. The Imperial Japan did it. Russia has done it. Like we're not above doing stuff like that. Even in the Spanish-American War, we faked on an attack on the I forget the ship name, as an excuse to go to war with Spain, and the media was in on it too. Like yellow journalism, like Randolph Hearst, and I think his name was like Pulitzer. I'm about to sound really ignorant. My history teacher's gonna listen to this and be disappointed in me, But yeah, it's not like we're out of the realm of possibility.
It should never have been at the realm of possibility. And I understand some conspiracies are ridiculous. Like, hey, like the hook, like shit like that. Like, yeah, no, like not everything's meant to be a conspiracy. Oh yeah, that's where like we're in a time that everything's got to be a conspiracy. It's like no, not everything has to be a conspiracy, but when you should question, like the biggest one was the Vegas shooting. Like that was ridiculous. Like you knew there's no way in hell that you allowed all this shit to happen, and he's just moving a window like that by himself. Like that's the one that kills me. That's the like big one that gets me is that he was shooting at the because it was Aldean concert in Vegas. There's been a couple big ones. I know the one, it wasn't in America, but it was the Manchester one with Ariana Grande.
Yeah, that was in Atlanta, right?
Yeah. And yeah, it's just, people are fucking tapped, man. And I think that's the thing. We got to like get back to a level of, just not even camaraderie, man, but like, dude, not everything has to be conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we have to reach a healthy middle to where like, all right, like, why? But that's how much people don't trust the fucking government. So it's like, because they lost us, and we don't feel like they care. So I think that's why a lot of people think the way they do. So
and yeah, it's gotten to the point. Like, say there really was a terrorist group that wanted to destroy the United States, people in this country will be like, "Oh, this is a CIA plot." And guess what?
Well, not even maybe like maybe like a tenth, but
yeah.
But I think that's why I like the fact that what's going on, because I just genuinely don't think like we need all these agencies, man. We never did, because at the end of the day, like it just incentivizes all this. And plus Watergate instigated all the fucking spying, but then the Patriot Act instigated it to a whole new level to where we could just be tapping shit. Like they probably have their phone right now. So it's like,
yeah, no, they're probably tapping this this laptop right now.
Right. Because at the end of the day, like everything's connected, and you just, that's why hacking's way bigger now than it's ever been too. Like, and I'll go back to what we were just talking about. That's a whole nother level of like just not giving people your information and people not making sure that they take care of their shit. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna learn how to like network soon. Like, there's a course on Coursera called Intro to Networking because my dad is trying to get me a job before I, graduate. And thing about like networking, like my dad, he was like around for HTML when HTML was created, or yeah, he's like worked in computers since like he was like my age, and he kind of hates the internet because he's seen all the horrible shit that goes into making the internet. So like that's another thing with like this disinformation on being spread. A lot of like, I mean, it's good that you shouldn't be, you know, questioning the official narrative, but like if you're gonna believe something, have you gotta have like good reason to believe it. You know what I mean? Like some dipshit on Facebook saying that the Earth is flat, or Paul McCartney died in 1966. You know,
All the other stuff, those are the fun ones. But like, if you want to get like serious, like genuinely like believe like everything, like nah, I think that's where like people, oh, we control the weather, the snow, and they make it's like, oh my god, like yeah, I don't know. I think that's where like I like a good conspiracy here and there, but I think conspiracies just they go up in smoke half the time now, just because there's so much shit out here, man. So much, just things you could read, so much knowledge. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know, and like with like, yeah, there's so much distrust in our government now that okay, I'm just repeating myself, but so like distrust really bites you in the ass if you preach stuff if you control a narrative so much, people are gonna believe this like freak fuck shit that's not true, like QAnon. And actually got another conspiracy that this is the only conspiracy I genuinely do not want to be around you if you believe in. That is Holocaust denial.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I
To deny the whole thing is wild.
denying the whole thing is wild. You have to be some sort of like psychopathic.
But like, what kills me is like they'll deny that, but then they won't deny anything else like throughout history.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, oh, what Mao did is okay, like not okay, but like, oh, Mao did it, Stalin did it. Oh, but it's because of the people that they killed and all the other like, oh, it can't be that many people.
Can't be that many. It's like, here's the thing.
It was like, oh, it was 50 million of his own people. Oh, that's fine.
Have you read the history of China? They would have like wars that would last for like 3 years, and they would kill 50 million people. That's just the way China is.
When you have a billion people, like you can do shit like that, I guess.
Yeah, because like a 50 million people is nothing to them.
Like, that's crazy. Like, if you really like put that in perspective, like you really got to think about this. Like, dude, like just 2 countries in itself have a fourth of the population of the world.
Yeah.
Like, I think you have to genuinely understand, like, that's how much, India and China, like, well, China's definitely more of a superpower than India. India's got their stuff, but then there's a lot of doctors in India that come here because they have their doctorates, but they could get it done in like 4 less years. So when they come here and they know everything, if not more, in 4 less years, no shit, why are you not going to hire them?
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, they know a little more.
That's why colleges love Asian people.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Because, like, and I think that's why, like, you have to understand that. That's why a lot of people that come in, like, there's a lot of Asian doctors for a reason, because, they might have a little better, I think our education system sucks just in general. So, and I think that's a whole nother conspiracy to, the biggest conspiracy ever made was to break up the nuclear family in this country. And I think that's where a lot of distrust in the government should have started, but they didn't.
Yeah,
Here then, where they just were living life. So like, and I think that's where everything should have started. Because and then not like Nam was probably the first big one to where like, why the fuck are we here? Why are we doing this? That's the big one, me personally, because like it was Nam, then it was Watergate. And then if you really like pinpoint anything, you know what I mean? Just because I think those are like the 2 ones. Well, I'm okay. And then Malcolm X, like,
yeah.
it was just a time. JFK is what year did he die? 63.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say probably then. Like, you just genuinely, but then everybody just didn't know, like, they didn't have the internet. They didn't have this. They didn't have that. So like, you had to believe what you were told.
Yep.
I think that's where, like, if we could somehow put all those events now, everything would have been a fucking conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know, but then you don't know. Like we talk more about the affairs JFK, MLK, and all these guys were having. We talk about their sex life more than what they did now
Yeah.
on conspiracies because we'd rather talk about like how Marilyn Monroe was bent over in the Oval Office rather than like the actual shit he was like doing as a president. And it's like, oh man, like that's where we're at.
Because all this bad stuff about him is coming to light, and
Right.
nowadays that's like petty.
Yeah, it's so petty because people can't like. I just genuinely like. I feel so bad, but like when people pass or perish, they shouldn't. Or just stay. At the end of the day, they're dead. Like if you can't speak up, they can't speak up. Don't talk shit now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think that's where like or like just because they're in trouble, you want to talk shit. I think that's the biggest like conspiracy of them all because like you can't tell me if I'm a celebrity that was close with Diddy. You knew, bitch. Like, stop fucking playing all these bullshit. Like, you knew. Like, I hate all this shit. It just says no balls. Like, and I think that's where, I think that Hollywood's such in its own right, a conspiracy because it's pinpointed. It's
Yeah, I know those bullshit, spineless motherfuckers, and like they didn't do anything to stop Will Smith from slapping Chris Rock, and they gave him a standing ovation, even though he just assaulted a dude on national TV over a joke.
Yeah, Chris could get taken. Like, Chris is one of those guys that I genuinely love as a comedian because he was able to go back at him, and you knew he was gonna. So,
Yeah.
But just that type, like you said, just that type of energy that they bring out and put out to where like he should have been out of the building. But then, you know what I mean? That's why I love Jim Carrey. I love the guys that speak out. You know what I mean? Oh, at the end of the day, like Jim Carrey's made fucking, if not billions of dollars, his movies have. You know what I mean? So in totality, and he just doesn't care anymore because at the end of the day, he made his bed, or he's a very creative genius, and you also have to relate it. He got his chance because of the Wayans brothers.
Yeah.
Wayne brothers don't get their fucking due, man. They just don't. Like, I love them. Like, In Living Color is one of the greatest television series that's ever been. And it created a lot of startups and created a lot of Rosie Perez, J-Lo, like Keenan, Damon, Sean, and Marlon. Like, dude, they're all fucking phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I think you just have to realize Jamie Flash, like, like you have so much talent and you have all these options. And I think that's where like it's hard for me now because everything's about like putting out something rather than just being funny or just being this or being that. So like going back into what we're talking about conspiracy wise, I think we're withheld to a certain standard now because I don't think people can people just should always like. I think it's a great time for comedy, but I don't think people are sitting there creatively like Carlin and Pryor because it's tough now because I just genuinely think like someone's gonna be pissed off by one joke and then they're gonna fucking report you or they're gonna say you're the worst. And I think it's a great time for comedy because it's if not divisive as any time.
Yeah.
And it's because of thought. It's not because of action. It's not like there's riots as much. It's not like if you look in books, like it's I would say it's a pretty peaceful time to be alive, but it's not peaceful in thought because if you can't say shit anymore because or you can still say it, but then you're gonna just people get weeded out though, because I think most people genuinely agree with a lot of the shit, but or just could come to a common understanding. But it's wild times, man. I think that's where, like, going back to what we're talking about with conspiracies, I think people just need to have a better trust system. Not everything's a conspiracy. Not everything's about just it's making everything a conspiracy.
Oh yeah, if we're reaching a point where everything is a conspiracy, we got a big problem.
Yeah, we're screwed. Yeah,
because like if you're low enough to, if people are low enough to deny the Holocaust, then imagine what they're really low enough to. Yeah, and like a lot of these conspiracies, they can be debunked by like common sense, by if you actually research it. Like, so the main reason why people think that this is like the main reason why some people think the Holocaust didn't happen, or it wasn't 6 million Jews that were actually killed, is because one Red Cross document said that it was 271,301, and like the documents managed by the Red Cross only recorded a fraction of the Holocaust death count. They don't. It wasn't disputing the official death toll of 11 million. It was like it was just one thing, and like,
And that's the thing. Like, you could, I think, just denying it in general, saying it never happened, is a big difference than questioning it.
questioning it. Yeah,
I don't mind. You could question it if you think the numbers are inflated. You think this, you think that. Okay, let's have a discussion. But like, just denying it, like saying it's like hocus pocus, it's the boogeyman, is like, nah, like, bitch, nah.
it's like
that's crazy.
Well, how can you fake something like that?
You can't.
You cannot.
Like, all right, this ain't, like, it's not America. It's not like we have all these, propaganda, to be like, we could put out a lot of propaganda. Like, that's what World War II, a lot of World War II shit was propaganda, in the sense of like making, because it was a time of making people understand that, hey, we're America. We're going to do this shit, and we got to do what we got to do. So
That's why it's not banned here to deny it.
right.
Yeah.
And plus, and as long as we still got the fucking Bill of Rights, we're fine. So we have our fucking amendments.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm really confident about living here, because it's like, okay, that's just one article. What about all this other evidence that disputes that article? Like, during the Nuremberg trials. Sorry, I'm really excited to talk about this, because I was thinking about it the other day. I was just like, my God, what a bunch of retards, you know what I mean?
And I was like, I don't want to use that word, but
And the editor will censor it out. That's ongoing. Editor, if you're listening, please censor out the word retard. I mean, we're 43 minutes in, so,
and it's cool.
you only got to worry about like the first 10 minutes.
It'll be fun.
So we'll be fine. But it's just like, yeah, I was thinking about it. It's like, even on like YouTube videos about anti-Semitism, about Jews, there's going to be comments that said, and the Red Cross put it at 200,000, or Charles Lindbergh and Henry Ford. It's just like, guys, get a life.
And I think genuinely, like, the biggest conspiracy to me that came out of the Holocaust, or all that whole situation, should have been that Hitler didn't kill himself.
Yeah,
And he went to Argentina. And I think that's way more interesting. Like, I hate saying this, but like, that's way more interesting than interesting. Because at the end of the day, why is it that you have because a lot of the a lot of the scientists, before getting caught, they fled.
Yeah, I know.
I think that's way more interesting. Like, I hate saying that, because a lot of people fucking died, and it's brutal as fuck. But that's way more interesting, because at the end of the day, like, why in the hell are Argentinians, Chileans, and like, they're very white because they are closer to Antarctica, just like they're not as close to the equator as, say, like Brazil and everything. But it's wild to like really just think about it, because it's like there's like one city in Argentina that speaks strictly German.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy fuck, like, and that's how like it used to, like, when you think about it, like, I understand like settling days and all that stuff, like, that's how shit happens. But like, to have it happen in the last 100 years, like, that's crazy if you really think about it, because we're not in those eras anymore of like wanting to just set sail and take shit over, you know what I mean? So
there are like villages in South America, they have like SS medals out, so like,
that's what I'm saying, like,
always, yeah,
fucking nuts.
it is nuts.
Your last name's Mendez, you're like, what the fuck, like, this is crazy. Like,
yeah, and of course, some wasn't really involved in World War II, so they don't really have like the same like taboo about fuck it, they're living life. And yeah, there was like, so a lot of people, the reason why a lot of people think that Hitler didn't actually kill himself is because like the Soviets were the ones who discovered his body, and they were like dog shit at keeping records
Yeah.
at the time.
But so that's just included. Like, if they dog shit at keeping records, then why aren't you questioning the amount of people Stalin killed then?
Exactly.
Like, bro, he finally got over 100 million bodies.
Yeah,
Well,
like the thing about the Nazis too is like, why are we putting them out on a pedestal as the ultimate bad guys?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you think Germany just woke up one day and said, you know what, we hate Jews? Like, no. Like, the Nazis hated Jews for the same reason everyone else hated Jews. Anti-Semitism was not new. And like,
I think that's the main reason why, though, to be honest, the people that they were killing. So,
yeah.
because, if you really think about it, like, everybody else is always killing their own kind. So, in the sense of, like, it was not because it was Russians killing other Russians, it was Chinese killing Chinese. Like, even like anything like from Cuba, like Cuban people were fucking mistreated by Cuban people, like anything that
yeah.
So now that we have a level of just, because of genetics and because you look different, it wasn't like, Bao and Stalin and all these guys to be like, fuck it, I'm killing all these guys.
Yeah.
But to pinpoint it to genetics and pinpoint it to the way you look made it to where, like, genuinely, I think that's where, like, it came down to. And then just pinpointing that to make a, blue-eyed blonde, we're going to be called the Aryan race. And it's like, you know what I mean? And I think that's where, like, the genetics part is very interesting because that's where, because I like genetics. I fucking, like, and I hate telling people I like genetics because I'm fucking blue-eyed white. Like, oh, motherfucker, I'm not, I don't believe in any of that shit. We're all fucking human. We're going to do what we got to do. But, and love who you love. But, like, that's where, like, with me, I've always been interested in genetics because, like, it's just Punnett squares. It's easy. It's, like, what's the chances of, you know what I mean? It's like, it's chance. And at the end of the day, like, it's a proven chance. Because, like, if you take dominant and recessive traits and you do all this stuff, but relaying it back to what we're talking about, it's just more of, it's a big issue because it was pinpointed. It wasn't just, let's just kill everybody. Everybody that got included was, fuck, it sucks. The gypsies, the other, Hungarians, the Poles. But when you talk about it, like, it was just, at the end of the day, like, it's the tough, it shouldn't be a tough conversation because that's what we fought. And that's what we won, and we dropped the bombs and we did all this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And America's America, but at the end of the day, we have to talk about our dark past and we have to talk about all these things. Because at the end of the day, we don't move on if we don't talk about it, I think that's where conspiracies just run fucking too many bad conspiracies run rampant. Like, I'd rather talk about, like you said, like CIA files, shit like that. Like,
Yeah.
like, why are we not talking about the way that we killed the most important people in our life that go against big fucking pharma? They go against this, they go against that. It's all government related shit that I'm more interested in. I don't give a, you know what I mean? Who gives a fuck if the Earth's flat or not? Like, really fucking, like you said, it's just more of like you can't, with science, with all this other shit, like, if the Earth was flat, like, why wouldn't, I know a lot of planes are crashing right now, but, like, how would we be able to rotate if the Earth was flat?
Exactly.
Like, that just, plane flights just ruined that fucking, debunked the logic right there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like physically possible for the Earth to be flat.
Yeah. Hey, man, and not most of us are astronauts, so fuck.
Yeah.
And then even if we were, they'd probably plant us in Studio 54 in Hollywood. No, I'm joking. Moon landing's real, guys. Sorry, it had to be.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that moon landing crap, but I
It's wild. I did.
wild. Yeah.
I did for a little bit, but then it's just like,
Yeah.
no, like it's the motives. It's the motives. It's the Soviet, like, beating the Soviets. It's all this because the Soviets were whooping our ass and everything relating to that. But then, like, just being able to say we put a man on the moon to beat the Soviets, whole nother reason to be like, oh, okay. But hey, man, they're like shit. I think NASA in itself is another organization. Like, what they do is amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird. is it like you said, man? It's weird times. People are just over fucking. They have nothing to do, so they just overcomplicate shit and always wanted bullshit rather than just see what's there right in their head or right in their face. So
Yeah.
it's wild times. So what's another big conspiracy that you really kind of not hate, but like why?
Conspiracy theory that I hate.
Because I hate saying this. The only wrong conspiracy Alex Jones ever had was Sandy Hook, but he was right on a lot of shit.
But the one thing you just cannot be wrong about, he was
Is
wrong
talking about kids getting shot. Yeah, and that's where like the Parkland shooting, all this other shit. Like it's like school shootings are running rampant, but I don't think it's because we have a lot of mental health issues in this country that are not being addressed. But at the end of the day, we do have to address the fact that some 17-year-old kid could just walk in a gun store and just be able to get one.
Yeah, no, it's
Right. Like I genuinely think like we need better background checks. We need this, we need that. But if you're at a state, a lot of states are open carry. So like, dude, we have to realize that we're not going to change the gun nut, or we're not going to change that. It's just more of like, it depends. Like there's so many aspects because dude, we have 50 states. Every state has their own constitution. Like we have the federal constitution, but then every state could be a little different.
Yeah,
And it should be because that's how
because different states have different people.
in different methods, different values, different regions have different stuff. So, and I think that's what makes America fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Because we're not all the same. Again, that's what I like about it, because if you went to fucking, like, if you just went to Australia, it'd be like, oh, if you go to Sydney or Perth, they're still going to be Australian. But at the end of the day, like, they kind of all like act the same. Like we are a little different. You could go to Atlanta, Georgia, and then go to like fucking Seattle. It's different.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's clear across different cultures to where like it's good that you have that, because difference makes, it's like creating a diamond. You know what I mean? Like it's just when you ruffle it and you mess it around with it for a little bit, you can turn it into a diamond.
Yeah.
So, and I think that many things coming at you, like that's why I love, that's why I like about America. Because at the end of the day, you have so many walks of life coming here still. You still have all these, whoever you are, come and bring your best, and you could do that. So I think the biggest, and another big conspiracy now, like I said, it goes back to going and dismantling the family.
Oh, yeah.
The family nucleus, because that's a big one. Without family, you're relying on the government, and then all the single motherhood rate, and then it's nuts, dude.
A lot of people don't realize that the reason when first wave feminism was going on, the Rockefellers were supporting it because that means if more women were working,
It's more money.
it's more money for them.
Right. That's why it ruined everything.
Oh yeah,
And that's the thing, like if you really want to talk about why women were kind of forced, was all the men were in war.
yeah,
So when women were able to do the factory jobs, and they were like, oh, fuck, like, so like, and that's where, like, if you want to talk about, like, oh, women make 77, and like, back then, probably, but there was no men. So if it was all women doing it, of course they're gonna you. But now, like, to say, like, we're in a time of, like, it's 50-50, like, you just, like, there's different levels of jobs that women and men are doing to where,
oh yeah,
that I don't, I'm not denying the fact that women make less, but, not per hour, but it's just more like, it's just, you're not STEM, you're not this, you're not that. So, like, let's just be real and honest. I think that's what,
women tend to choose like lower paying jobs, not because they're looking for like money, but they're looking for more or less fulfillment.
Right.
And
But the biggest problem is, like, I fucking hate saying this, but like the biggest fulfillment in a woman's life should be you being a childbearer.
yeah, sending the biggest fulfillment to a man's life too. Yeah,
And they took that away because I'm not saying abortion and all this other shit took it away, but they have a way of not. Women are the most fucking masculine. It's the most masculine women now and this is the most feminine then, but it comes back to what I'm talking about. When you ruin the nuclear family, it comes back and bites people in the ass.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying there's not good single mothers out there. I'm not saying that. I don't bash shit. I'm not. But at the end of the day, when you ruin the nuclear family, when you have distrust in your own family, and then you don't even have more family, it ruins everything. Yeah, because who are you going to rely on? The government. And then they you. And then they just make you rely on everything. So.
Yeah, I know. If you rely on the government for everything, like a lot of people realize that don't realize that the government is not there to help people; they're there to help themselves.
Right. And then if you rely on the government, that's where like I've been food stamps, man. I've been there. Like, dude, like I'm not shitting on it. You've been ABT cards, but like, it's just the point. You know what I mean? Like, but when you're incentivizing, I feel like they just incentivize all that crap, man. Like, they want fucking people with fucking 4 dads and 4 or 5 fucking kids. And it's like, they want you to, like, live that way.
Oh, yeah.
And it's fucking sad because, like, they don't want you to, like, be... But, like, that's a whole nother relationship topic that we have to, like... Because I think the relationship will never be the same.
Yeah, man.
Because it comes back to technology. It comes back to all this shit. Like, dude, like, if our great-grandparents were living now, they would fucking divorce in 5 years because they had no... They... wouldn't have a choice because they actually missed each other. His fucking great granddad's working a fucking steel job and busting his ass for 14 hours, and she's fucking just cleaning. She's cooking, she's cleaning, taking care of the kids. And it was just not set roles, but it was just more. That's how it was. And I haven't seen my wife in 14 hours. I genuinely miss my wife.
Yeah, I know.
But now.
You're not near me. You know where you at.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's like just the help.
He's the most loved. That's why I'm not in relationships. Is if you can't leave me the fuck alone, it's just, dude, like, shut up.
Yeah, the reason why I converted
That's what
it's to like an man cave, or at least I'm in the process of it, is because I love to be alone.
Yes.
Like I do
The difference in being alone and being lonely.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I like my alone time. But if I ever feel lonely, that's when you get the fuck out and find something to do. So, like this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast, yeah. It's like I go to concerts alone, I go on a vacation alone. I even went to my junior prom alone, dude. I like being alone. I like my space.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask to go to my senior prom, but COVID happened. I was gonna do a lot of things, probably with Annie in the bathroom. Gas takes me away. Yeah, actually, Annie was in college by the time I had my junior prom, so I couldn't have. I mean, unless I brought. I feel like that's kind of weird bringing a college go to a prom. Like, yeah, but there's a college with stud.
Well, you got to think about it in that. So in the sense, like if like I brought a girl from a different school, I'd even tell them, and they just allowed me to do it, and I was like, it never causes trouble. So they allowed. That was the year, was it my sophomore or my junior year? I think it wasn't even prom. It was like a winter formal. So like it was just a dance. We had a fun time. But then she knew a lot of like the friends, so it was just more like bringing another friend there rather than like
Oh yeah, I feel like bringing like a friend from out of school that nobody knows from a dance is kind of fun.
Yeah. Who happened to be a chick, and then I was like, I'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
All it was just like
I wanted to ask like my neighbor out for like 10th grade homecoming, but she said but she was like busy that night. And I was also a chicken, so I didn't ask.
No, chicken shit.
Yeah, I was a chicken shit. I was like, who was addicted to porno. So
there we go.
yeah.
So all right, I think we're all right on that.
Got that segment up, and when we come back, we're gonna talk about nice guys. Oh yeah. Okay, we're back. I don't really know why I feel the need to announce that we're gonna take a break because we don't have any sponsors, but I guess this is more for us. But so we're gonna talk about nice guys and nice girls. So
Man, combine like what the red flags are.
yeah, so
like each one.
all right, here's
Subreddits are amazing.
Subreddits are fucking amazing. Like, this person says, I'm not going to go on a date with you. And the nice guy says, okay, no problem. Can I ask why? And she says, I just think that the way you say I'm missing out and I have no chance is pretty immature, so that's why. I wish you the best.
Is that the girl or the guy?
That's the girl. And now the guy is saying, how's that immature? That's a fact. You have no idea what I bring to the table. I said you have no chance. What are you referring to? She's not interested. Just move on, dude. That's a red flag. She's like, what did I do wrong? Why did I do this? It's like, yeah, that's needy behavior. That's a red flag. Saying just random stuff you've said to me in the past. And he says, you have said your fair share as well. That's not fair. Table and you would be missing out on all of that. How is it bad? Say that. And she says, I don't know, just made me not into it. And the way you keep being mean and trying to roast me is just immature. He says, bro, what? Can't just say stuff like that.
Bro, what?
You can't just say stuff that's not true like that. Oh, the blank thing. I guess the blank is like someone they know. Yeah, that's fair. She says, you literally just said 5 minutes ago. He says, well, if that's how you want to be, so be it. But me saying something mean, I'm responding to you doing something mean doesn't cancel out right. I really wish you wouldn't do this. You don't have to. And she says she sends like a picture of a monkey as to like fuck with them. That's fine.
Yeah, man, it's tough.
Yeah, okay. He's being like, what is this? It's like, it's one thing to like learn what you did wrong so you don't repeat it in the future. It's another thing to be like, wanna go on with me? The least. It's like,
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, it's the end of the day, it's just the time. Like, when it comes back down, like, going back to what we were just talking about, masculine versus feminine energy, like, I think, like, the worst thing you can do, like, and especially to a very, very beautiful feminine energy woman, my bad. But the worst thing you can do is just match your femininity.
yeah, I know.
Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Because, like, see wrong once you get to know her and, like, it's chill. Like, if she could be your wife one day, like, that's fine. But, like, just, like, some first date shit, yeah, nah, you can't, like, come out and match femininity because it just bites you in the ass. And then she's gonna be slob on the knob, like corn on the cob.
But I thought girls like it when men were in touch with their feminine side.
To a certain extent, when, like I said, it's only like, the only way I'll be a little more feminine to a woman is if, like, because we have a lot of friends that are women, and sometimes it's fun to fuck with them and just match the energy. But like after that, like, nah, like if you're not my girlfriend or my wife, I'm not trying to match energy unless it's family, like, you know what I mean, like aunts and like grandmothers and stuff like that. Like, I don't mind that because it's family, you know what I mean, like, oh yeah. So it's a family and who you're dating are completely two different aspects to me. So I think that's where we have to like live in reality, because I think like you shouldn't be treated like it's fucking weird.
It's the reason why I don't flirt much, because if I don't seek myself with this,
I would flirt
for it. I don't know if this is a nice guy in me, but it's well bad. You know that you just some people are just not worth your time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it would be like, it's not even that I'm trying to flirt or just be flirtatious. It's just more of like just messing around, just being myself. So
Yeah,
just have,
and people love you for it.
because they just have that personality. But it's just more of like,
Yeah. So this guy's what?
like if I was on a first date, or if I'm going on a date and then I do that and I talk to other women and I'm doing that, and like, she's probably gonna be like, oh, this guy's.
Some things that work at social hour that don't work on a first date. There's different types of flirting for a first date, I feel. But yeah, so this guy says, because I don't know if you want to keep being treated like this by someone who doesn't even know me, like it's not right. Oh my God,
Is that like, he know the girl?
I don't know, but that says that I get you're expressing how you feel, but you're holding things against me when you have done things I don't like that I don't hold against you. So I'm just like frustrated. So it says, so I'm just like frustrated. He sounds like the gay friend. Oh my God.
Nothing's wrong with that, but
I do sincerely
trying to get some ass, it's tough.
Yeah. I do sincerely mean, but not giving me a chance would result in you missing out. I don't mean that as an insult. I've been in this situation before. You're never gonna find another woman like me. It's giving bad energy.
Yeah.
When I'm given a chance, it always works out really, really well. So it's like, oh my god, so go to another chick, dude. She's not interested. So move on to the next. Just wrong. Wrong decision. What's the issue with getting dinner? If you don't have a good time, just block me, but I'll pay. What he said. I promise it'll go really well. I don't see the downside. And if he keeps texting, that's like this idiot. Okay, begging someone to go out with you. If you're begging them to go out with you, you've already lost.
Yeah, because then they're not
He's desperate.
desperate, and then they don't appreciate your time anyway. So
He says, "Don't act like you didn't fumbled." No chance.
yeah, no chance. That's
Oh my god, he's still texting her. This is like the Snapchat. Sko don't think I did anything wrong, so you're missing out over literally nothing. Laughing emoji. Oh man, and she's replying to him. She says, "Oh man, I want to know what I'm missing out on so bad." He says, "Would you be down to start over?" She says, "Start over what?" He says, "You're sure last chance with me. I get to know me." And she says, "I literally don't want to know anything about you. You act insane." I was like, I don't blame you.
yeah.
No, I'm saying you don't want to get to know each other for real. I'm not acting insane. I'm just tired of trying to get to know you and being left unread. So stop talking to her! Idiot!
Mm-hmm.
Actually, fuck it. You're the last person I want at this point. He says, "Point, you're so disrespectful, and for what? Just to miss out?" Not. He keeps saying missing out.
Yeah.
Keeps saying, like, idiot. Like,
yeah. It's not missing out if she doesn't,
And this is the last like slide on thing. She says, "Promise you're missing out because of it. I'm sure you have your options. You're a pretty girl who's slightly funny, but none of them would." It's like slightly funny. It's like he's not as funny as him. It's like she's beneath him. Like, what the hell?
And then you're not getting anything out of it. So treating her like she's beneath you, but then like just still acting like this is.
But none of them would ever compare to how you would feel if you gave me a chance. It went well. No one compares, so it's up to you, but I can't keep putting myself out there to get memes back. What are you, 15, man? Oh my god. But yeah, those are the red flags. And guys, I feel like do you think it's like if you hook up with a girl, he's the type of guy that if he hooks up with someone and he gets laid, and in the morning he's fully clothed, staring at the chick he hooked up with, saying like, "No one has ever let me get that far before. Oh my god, I love you so much for it."
He's like,
"Oh my god, I appreciate it so."
"Oh, I thought your name was someone else." I was like, "Oh shit." She's like, "Is that happening?"
But yeah, so, oh my god. But yeah, to prove that we are not sexist and we believe in gender equality, we're gonna make fun of a nice girl next. And the amount of red flags, so basically this person, she used to be friends with us, and she like left Massachusetts a long time ago, but she started like this Substack that claims to help people with addiction, but once you actually read the Substack, it's actually a pity party of self-pity and self-loathing. So she wrote this thing called like post-election whiskey. It's like a whole ass article, and the amount of red flags that exudes from this person is insane. Basically, she says, "Early this morning, Donald Trump won the presidency for a second time, 8 years after his first victory, 8 years after the Democratic Party realized its complete disconnect from the working class, 8 years for journalists to fight for the critical media gaps that were filled with mis/disinformation, sending those dissuaded by the left to Trump once and then again, 8 years of inadequate change and inadequate action, 8 years of ignorance in the form of American exceptionalism."
So what's wrong with Americans' exceptionalism though?
That's like the sort of thing where
You know, God forbid we're like the greatest.
Yeah.
Man, like dude.
But yeah, it's like American history. They were using that to like justify like colonialism, like to kick the Indians off the land.
No, like, that's the thing. Like, if we want to talk about red flags and like do that, it's tough. Yeah, I think a lot of countries were doing that. So I think at the end of the day, we're such a we're not even at 300 years, man. So we're such a short term country right now because there's been places that were doing that for thousands of years.
Oh yeah. And she goes on, I fell asleep at 3 p.m. and woke up a little after 5 covered in sweat.
At 5 p.m. Yeah.
It was dark, but the facade of midnight was pierced by the sound of circular saws cutting through metal at the construction site behind our building. She probably like shakes her fists at the construction guys whenever she gets a chance. It's November 6th and 75 degrees even with the sun down. Discomfort and shock have made it hard to move my body outside. Can't escape the unnatural. This sounds like the Kane Dewey promo. The Cactus Jack Kane Dewey promo. That's what this sounds like to me, man. Dude. It's like someone has taken the time and the effort and the thought to do construction outside. And I saw on the sign, Kane Dewey. Or could everything else, Donald Trump, stuff like that.
God, it was such a good promo.
Yeah, and here is the big red flag. This is the one I wanted to talk about. She says, here to write, but it's too soon to say. If I let the feelers in a little, they, at first exploration, touch the raw feeling of betrayal. Betrayal by men! Adding another jagged rock to the pile they've left for me and all women with their powerful, decisive for it and a juicy aided rapist evoke to protect their daughters by ignoring our pain and consciously stripping away our rights, leaving us at the mercy of their simple choice of where and when to not you. All right, let me tell you the red flags in this. So she says, leaving us at the mercy of their simple choice of when and where to not fuck you. So if you're getting sex with the dude, he should be on wearing a condom and you should be on birth control. You should be if you are having sex with them, you should be taking steps.
Actually, we should be taking both of, like, it's a two-way street to have a kid.
A two-way street. And if you're gonna blame him solely for getting pregnant when you should have had like an IUD in, or you should be on birth control, then that's on you. Then you're blaming him for what happened. And here's the thing. Like if you want to say, well, there's like less than 1% of like abortions are raped. It's not because, so this is about to get real political. I've researched this. Most abortions are got because the lady can't afford the kid. So, and that's like the majority of abortions. So, I'm not saying that abortions isn't a horrible thing that we have to go through. It is a very tough choice. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But if you cannot afford the kid, you should not be having unprotected sex. I'm sorry, it comes to that at the end of the day. Like, I've met people who I haven't met people, but I've heard of people who have had like more than one abortion. Shouldn't that be like a huge like moment in your life? That should be like a life-changing moment. That should be maybe even traumatizing. And you're gonna blame the guy for it, like solely for it, man? I feel like you're just trying to like deflect from like responsibility at the end of the day. And like that's the red flag in that, because like not only does she like openly fucking hate men and blames them
We need
election like not going her way, but like
women and men need each other, but like I said, it goes down to, we have to reach a healthy level of, just reaching energy again, man, because this is not the time. So
and so
you can't have fucking masculine energy women telling us that we ain't shit when, you know what I mean? Like, most men bust their ass and do whatever they have to do, and then I don't know. We're in a weird, like I say, it's just weird times, man.
Yeah, and
it's not ass backwards, but we're just getting into a time that, it's just weird. It's just weird. You know, we're caring about 1% of the population, but then, like I said, man, it's just we're in times that like, dude, it's like the smallest thing matters, and then like whatever the majority wants, they just don't get. So,
Oh yeah, for sure. And this person, I'm not gonna say their name because A, I don't want them to come after me, and B, I don't want to be, make this personal. But this person is like has like a really bad relationship with men. I don't know if something happened with like, her dad. Her dad, from what I understand, she has like a not a good relationship with her dad. But like, but she does have a brother, and she did have a grandpa, and I cannot imagine being her brother and having his sister like think like this. I cannot imagine my sister thinking like this.
I think I think it just correlates to how women are nowadays. I think it's a man society, even though men do everything for me. I think like they don't see the bigger picture like men do. Me personally, I think they mess with the same type of cat, and they don't change preferences, they don't change anything, and they don't, like you said, it just comes down to responsibility, and they stay with the same type of person because they don't want to change, and they don't change and adapt. They just stick with one type of guy.
And they cheat on that guy.
No, it's not even that they cheat on the guy, but like if they switch up, say like they want like, oh, I want a street guy, I want this, I want that, or then they go for like the dude like in finance. He's fucking taking care of her, and he's doing all this shit, buying her trips. And then she's fucking the street guy on the side.
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, I just don't think you can please a woman now, man, because it's hard. Like, dude, if Tom Brady fucking can't, like, well, how the hell are we gonna keep women, dude? Like, nah, I'm being dead. Like, I'm just being honest.
Did he cheat on his wife?
Huh?
Didn't he cheat on his wife?
Like, dude. How like when you read, I think monogamy is tough nowadays because there's just so many fucking whores, and there's always been whores, but
Yeah.
but like the high maintenance of whores now is ridiculous. Because dude, they're making billions of dollars on OnlyFans. So
Yeah.
I think the entitlement of because I showed you my asshole, but I'm making $1 million a month is outrageous.
Yeah.
So we're in a level of like,
It's like they'll say, "Don't objectify me," and go,
but I'm making money and I think with being myself, which I'm like, do you? I'm not.
incentivized to think like this nowadays. And this,
But it comes back to the biggest conspiracy.
yeah, so the nuclear family. Yeah, and
Bro, that's selling the shit. Like, and you can, and I think a lot of it stems, we've always were state and church different, separate state and church. I agree with that. You gotta have some level of me personally, you gotta have some level of church to compensate for the state. I think we're in the most non-religious part in this country. Yeah, I genuinely don't think many, like the people that believe in God and just understand the message that religion tries to spread it's a great thing to be like religious, but then like it just gotten overtaken by spiritology and like and astrology, and I'm a Scorpio, that's why I fuck a lot of guys because my sex drive's hot. So it's not even that it's weird, it's just it's natural because at the end of the day it is there, but it's just like you just using your sign to like just act like a fucking bitch sometimes, or even they're like guys, like I'm Libra, so like I'm just like I'm doing like no, but like the Libra symbol it's justice. You know what I mean? So like I'm an argumentative fucker. So like there's things about me that like if I look at it being a Libra, I'm like, all right, cool. Like there's some things there, but
it's one thing to have something as your personality, but to use it as an excuse.
yeah. I think that's where like with a lot of women, especially I can love Scorpio women because they just because they're cool, but they're just so fucking argumentative.
Yeah,
Libras and Scorpios, it's fun though.
I'm not an arguing guy, so I don't know. I probably need to argue more.
Oh, just stick up for yourself.
Oh yeah,
I think like nothing's wrong with sticking up for yourself. Like at the end of the day, like you just have to. And if you truly believe in what you believe, and you just have to, like where we work, Jesus Christ.
and yeah, you don't There's like something I noticed like about like modern day feminists. I don't know about like second wave or first wave feminists, but feminists nowadays, man, they are not relationship material because they're blaming men for everything. And this person, she is like not a good person. Period. She's like back when used to work with her. Not only would she get mad at us for disagreeing with her, she would get mad at women for disagreeing with her. Yeah, and
For the woman's in a good relationship, it's like
yeah, and like and like she like cheated on her boyfriend. She snapped at her boss. She even made like terrorist threats, dude. Yeah, she said she like wanted to blow up the Supreme Court once. I doubt she's gonna do it, but I doubt because she's too stupid to make a bomb. But like, but like, dude, if you're gonna say stuff like this, don't get mad at other people for not thinking like you do. You know what I mean?
I think that's where we have to like have a level of understandability. And I think that's where like this like comes back to the first free speech. We have free speech. Yeah, we have all these ways of thinking, all these knowledgeable things that we can be saying. But then it's like when you get it equated to that, like I think it was because of Roe v. Wade, right?
Yeah, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, so
It's like, yeah, that's definitely gonna help your cause. That's only gonna give like these evangelical, like psychos, an inspiration to like,
more reason to be like, oh, these crazy bitches need more.
yeah, I know.
You got to put them in the psych ward and not have them have kids, which I think we need to get at some level of psych. We need psych wards back, but
Oh yeah, psych wards. I feel like psych heads are making
no, it's medicine. But medicine makes people think genuinely. I think the only like there's some level like anxiety, sociality, anxiety. Oh, like seasonal depression, shit like that.
depression. Yeah.
Well, mania is enough to where like if it's like if you're bipolar, you probably need meds. But if it's a controllable, what's the funny? Okay, the one that you don't need meds, and I think it's just funny as hell is Tourette's stuff.
Tourette's. Really?
I fucking love Tourette's. Yeah. Like I hate saying it, but it's funny as hell.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah, unless they just. This is. Do you ever watch the Tourette's guy on YouTube?
No, I don't.
God, watch it. It's so funny. And I don't know, like, dude, there's so many people that question if he was fake. Because his tics were. That's the thing. It's not funny unless you're cussing. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a fucking shit disease.
Like Deuce Bigelow, Amy Poehler.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's fine.
Amy. No.
Yeah. Apparently, that's like not like an accurate representation of Tourette's because
it's not. No, it's not. It's the thing, like I think Tourette's is more like actual tics. Like you move your head to the right, or you might have a tic of like, you know what I mean? You're just always like doing something. But if it, or you have like sudden movements to where,
I have this thing called a maladaptive daydreaming where I act out my daydreams out loud.
Oh, nice.
And
that's what you do at work. That's why I caught you in the bathroom. All right, cool.
But yeah, people always thought that I was like talking to myself. They thought I was crazy. It was like, no, I'm not. I just can't control my daydreaming. So, because like, you get so into your daydreaming that you start acting out your daydreaming. And
that's why you sold him yeah, and like I fucked with a parsnip.
Yeah,
and I sold it to a family.
Kind of hates it because they think it reflects poorly on them. But I'd rather someone, think I'm strange than take like psych meds for it.
Yeah,
like that's alright. Full Voxamine, dude. I don't care if everyone in the
Jeffrey Dahmer
thinks I'm a future Jeffrey Dahmer. I am not taking full Voxamine if that's gonna make my symptoms worse. Cause I like take natural remedies. Red, you know what I mean? Like, ashwagandha?
Yeah. Oh, okay, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, dude. That's what I... And I feel like... Do you think that immediately taking, like, psych meds is a red flag?
No, I think it's a red flag. I just think it's just genuinely, like, that's how we are now. I think Big Pharma knows what they're doing, and they know how to sell shit, and,
Well, I feel like
they can make billions of dollars just on they do like think about it the way they did it with COVID,
Oh yeah.
Like they made you get the made you get the shot, and then if you can't like do like nurses, I felt so bad for them. It was like at the end of the day, like I genuinely think if you build because if you're gonna be around it, you're gonna build immunity, natural immunity.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, so like the people that didn't want to get it should have been able to still work because they would have at least built natural immunity to it, and then if it gets worse, then you can have that personal choice.
Oh yeah,
But to have it and then say you can't have a job, like that was, that was bullshit.
yeah, that's
so
bullshit.
And I think that's where like I'd rather have given it to the older crowd, and I think that's where like the knowledge of it was more construed, because like if you're taking care of the patients and you're doing it, like I think natural immunity to anything's the best fucking remedy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
And honestly, at this point, if you die of COVID now, you were gonna die anyway.
yeah. No, you had to like have 2 or 3 underlying conditions. So
Oh yeah, and the reason why, so hydrochloroquine and ivermectin, they're available like over the counter in like India and China and like on Africa, all these places, African countries. Sorry, and like. And so, like, something I noticed when COVID was first starting, how come India had so few deaths? India is like the most densely populated country in the world, and that was the reason why. And the reason why they got rid of those natural treatments for it was because they were gonna make money off of it, and they're incentivized to make money off of it. That's the thing.
Yeah. I think that's the big problem. Like, dude, the insurance wasn't like, and then if, I could only imagine how many people made money off life insurance during that time. I could only, because dude, it's just, the things Americans make money on is insane. It's just like life insurance. Like, you could have just had so much money off that if like 4 of your relatives die and you are that plan. Yeah. Like, dude, fucking dank.
Oh yeah,
Like, we just have weird shit that we make money on, just to be honest, because it's like,
yeah. But like too many people make money off of tragedy. That's why we don't want to fix tragedy.
Yeah, because we like to see the world burn,
Because like if I were making money off of something, I wouldn't want it to stop either. Like for example, like at work we have like seed oil, food.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if I knew that the seed oil was making customers want to eat the food more, I would not want to be getting rid of it. Yeah, it's like, and yeah, I feel like instead of like blaming like other people for it, why don't you like get to the root of the problem? I feel like being quick to blame someone for it is like a red flag in and of itself, because you're not really getting to like the root of the problem.
Right. I think the root of the problem and the root of the solution is always what you should strive for. But if other people, you have to control the controllable. I think in general, like what we have to do, just what we're talking about, just doing this, like you have to just at the end of the day take responsibility.
Oh yeah.
Like if I'm a woman that is a little promiscuous and I just fucked 4 guys in a month and I just didn't care and I just did it but we have to realize, like, if you want to act like a man, you're gonna get treated as such.
Yeah.
And I think we don't belittle the women that stick with a man. Like, there's a lot of real ones out there, but they get shit on because they don't, it's not that generation. We're in a generation of let's use men, let's do this, let's do that, and let's just put them to the side, and I'm gonna find something better. Like how many women think like that every man needs to make 100K and do all this shit, and it's an asinine amount.
Yeah, no, it's like
what? I just think we have to live in those terms because 100K is like the new fucking, like it's the new norm now because the way everything's incentivized to make, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because dude, and then with inflation and just everything, man, I do, like, if you're making less than 75K, you're fucked. But it depends on what state. Like, that's the thing. I'm always thinking about shit like that. I do, like, if I'm a man that makes 125K in Mississippi, I'm doing pretty fucking good. And especially if I'm saying,
oh yeah,
I'm a fucking catch, but fuck you, because you don't want to come to fucking Jackson, Mississippi and fucking sing the blues with me.
Well, speaking of catches, I once knew a girl who thought that Jenny from Forrest Gump was a catch.
Who said that?
One of my coworkers when I was doing the Moxie management job.
Oh,
like the Verizon job.
Jesus Christ. Who? She's like the ultimate villain, dude.
She's like, okay, I love everything about Forrest Gump except his relationship with Jenny. He's like the most
toxic,
awful, toxic, manipulative relationship ever.
I'm happy they never made a second one.
Yeah, there would have been depressing as hell.
It would have. It would have been depressing.
Been like Forrest, like getting a new wife and realizing how bad Jenny was.
Or like they would have had to like show her dying.
Yeah.
And then like him realizing, fuck. No, but realizing like, oh, she had AIDS.
Yeah, I know. Therefore, I'm gonna have AIDS. You know what I mean?
Like, fuck. And then the kid just like living by himself. He's like, shit.
And it's like, and yeah, and that's the one thing you gotta like have like an outsider's perspective,
Right.
Because like you always got to keep your friends close when you're in a relationship, especially the guys, and especially like women in a relationship too, because they know how women think. So, like, yeah, and I cannot imagine. Seriously, I can't get over that. Thinking Jenny was a catch. It's like, okay, sure, Jenny had a hard life, but Forrest had a harder life. He was a war veteran. His best friend died in Nam. You know, he also grew up with a single parent. He's been through shit, man.
But that's the whole difference between a man and a woman.
Yeah, I know.
Like that. It's shit. I love that movie. I genuinely.
Yeah, I love that so too.
And that's like that's one of the movies that make me still a Tom Hanks fan to this day.
Oh yeah,
even though all the shit where like all the Epstein stuff came out and
was he on his list?
Yeah, it's hard. So
You're right. Do you think that a lot of the people who were on Epstein's list were not actually like diddling kids?
Like a lot of them are diddling kids, but it's just the fact that they weren't. So it's just hard for me to because it's just like look at the Diddy shit that's going on right now. It's hard for me to like be like, hey, like like Leo's did both, so it's like, hey, man.
Oh yeah, it's like,
and I think naturally, once you have that much money, I'm not trying to be in no fucking relationship with like a 45-year-old who's hot. Like, give me the young fucking bitch that wants me. So yeah, like I feel it like where he's coming from, but then it's like you drop him once they're like a certain age, like you're like, okay, yeah, it's a paddle.
Okay, yeah, it's got some. But yeah, I was watching a documentary on Ron Jeremy once, and basically, sometime in the 90s, he started like hanging out with like Hollywood stars, and so everyone was friends with them. So I think that's like how he got protected, because he was.
Oh yeah, no, he was tapped. Yeah.
Because like he was friends with everybody. He was the golden boy of like porno, because like it was this thing where like if this guy can get chicks, you can too.
Yeah.
Because of how ugly he was, Jesus Christ. Yeah, and I was like 10, like watching the video. It was like, who's a fat guy? Why do chicks like him? I was like looking him up. He was like, he's one of those for face. Like him. Yeah, and it's like if someone's a golden boy, it's the same thing with like guys like Dan Schneider, because like if you're the golden boy, everyone is gonna be scared to say no to you.
Yeah.
It's all they care about is money, and then you're spineless.
I think that's where with Titty, I think that's what it comes down to that it's like the situations he was putting people in, like you can't speak on. You know what I mean? Like Mace and Cameron, like anybody that was with Bad Boy, Jadakiss, like all those guys, you definitely like they wanted to speak up, but then it's like at the end of the day, but karma's a bitch, and at the end of the day, what happens now is shit. I like what's happening, because at the end of the day, like you can't. Hey, you remember when they said you could run but you can't hide?
Yeah,
it's coming true right now. So at the end of the day, I love it, because you're putting away the real monsters. Yeah, you're not putting away these fucking like guys that just go on a bad date. Like you're putting away fucking the real monsters. Yeah, like away the Diddies, you're putting away the fucking Epsteins, you're putting away the Weinsteins, the Cosbys, it's not just Maxwell's. You're not fucking putting away a Caesar Star. Like that's what the real issue with Me Too was, because they just started using the term sexual misconduct, and then you have to have the severity of what happened. Oh yeah. At the end of the day, if a bad date went bad, if it's a bad date gone bad, and then I just fucked the guy and then now you're claiming that he raped you, comparingly to like what Cosby and Harvey was doing, like I feel like it's tough.
It's like not every offense, like Louis C.K. for example. Wait, like what, he jacked off on the phone with someone, right?
No, he was like jacking off in front of women.
Like that's really cool, but like did he touch him? Did he try to force himself onto them?
think so.
No, you don't think so? Okay, so
Like,
like,
pretty sure he was just like
okay, half the woman came out and said bad things about him. Like,
a couple of them, and like a decent amount of them.
okay, so what?
I think, you know.
Okay, that's not cool.
I think they were just trying to do that Ric Flair shit. Yeah, and they do it.
I gotta tell you that it's like Ric Flair is a G, because like he's like a hardcore drinker all his life, big partier. And the worst thing that is confirmed to have ever happened was he got kicked out of a wrestling conference for being drunk. That's the worst thing.
Well, he did show his cock to on the plane ride from hell.
Okay, maybe that's the worst thing that happened. But if that's the worst thing that happened, Ric Flair is not a monster, dude.
Yeah, no, he's not a monster. No. Oh, hell no. I don't think, fuck. He definitely, like, but that's where, like, when it comes down to it's what women view successful men to be. But then when successful men all act like that, don't blame the man. You're picking these guys still. Yeah, I know. So if you're going for guys that are always gone and always this and always that, that's what you chose, right?
Yeah, I know.
So,
Cause like if the guy knows he's not gonna get caught and his wife is not gonna catch him, of course he's gonna do it.
Right.
If that doesn't matter.
then, like, when you go for the regular guy and you fucking hate the regular guy and you're just a side piece to the rich guy, and you'd rather just be the side piece to the rich guy than that, it's like, dude, it's madness, bro.
Yeah, no,
It really is.
I feel like it's also a red flag if a woman like aspires to be a side chick.
But any millionaires out there that wants young guy to disc golf, give me
Smelfs out there like Selma Hayek.
no, she's got a billionaire. So
Oh, okay.
let's go light, bitch. Jesus, start with people you know. Damn.
Let's give it. Do you have anything you want to add?
I think we're pretty good. I think we had a good first day. So
Yeah, I think I got a good first day too. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for listening to the first episode of the Gen Z podcast. We're gonna wrap it up here. I don't know what else to say. I don't got a plan for next week. I'll figure something out. I gotta send this to the editor. But yeah, thank y'all and have a good day. Woo, 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 woo.